Imagine a civilization so powerful, so advanced, that it conquered vast continents, built monumental wonders, and influenced the course of history for millennia. But what if I told you that this mighty empire, an empire that seemed invincible, crumbled under its own weight? What led to the downfall of a force that ruled the known world? Was it betrayal, greed, or something far more sinister? In this gripping journey, we'll uncover the secrets behind the rise, glory, and ultimate fall of the Roman Empire. Stay with me as we delve into the twists, turns, and shocking moments of a story that changed the world forever. By the end, you'll see Rome in a way you never imagined. Rome, one of the greatest empires in history, rose from humble beginnings as a village by the Tiber River to ruling the known world. Its story is one of power, ambition, and eventual decline, but its legacy lives on today in our laws, governments, and cities. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through Rome's rise, its golden age, and the forces that led to its fall, exploring the enduring mark it left on civilization. The story of Rome's founding is shrouded in myth, with the most famous version coming from the Roman poet Virgil's epic, the Aeneid. According to Virgil, the founding of Rome begins with the fall of Troy. The hero Aeneas, a Trojan prince, escapes the burning city with his followers and sails across the Mediterranean in search of a new homeland. After a long journey, he reaches the Italian coast and establishes a new settlement. Another version of Rome's founding, as told by the Roman historian Livy, involves twin brothers Romulus and Remus. Born to the Vestal Virgin Rhea Silvia and the god Mars, the twins were abandoned at birth by the Tiber River and miraculously nursed by a she-wolf. Later raised by a shepherd, the brothers decided to found a city but disagreed on its location. The conflict ended with Romulus killing Remus in 753 BCE, becoming Rome's first king. Thus, Rome was established on the Palatine Hill, a place that would become the heart of the Roman Empire. These legendary tales reflect values like resilience, divine favor, and determination that shaped Rome's identity. For over 2 centuries, Rome was a kingdom ruled by 7 kings. These early rulers, both mythical and historical, played pivotal roles in Rome's development. Romulus, the first king, established Rome's initial laws, military structure, and senate. Numa Pompilius introduced religious and social customs, while Tullus Hostilius expanded Rome's territory through military conquest. Ancus Marcius focused on infrastructure, including the first bridge across the Tiber River, while Tarquinius Priscus initiated major public works like the Roman Forum. Servius Tullius implemented social reforms and census systems, and Tarquinius Superbus, the last king, ruled as a tyrant, leading to the monarchy's downfall. The monarchy ended in 509 BCE after a public uprising sparked by the tragic story of Lucretia, a noblewoman who was assaulted by Tarquinius Superbus's son. Her death galvanized the Romans to overthrow the monarchy, establishing a republic, a system of government that would influence Western civilization for centuries. This new republic was characterized by a balance of power between 2 groups: the patricians, the aristocratic class, and the plebeians, the common people. Power was divided among 2 consuls elected annually, and the Senate, an influential advisory body. However, the Republic was far from a democracy. Only patricians could vote and hold office, leaving plebeians with little political influence. This inequality led to the conflict of the orders, a centuries-long struggle for political equality and legal protection. Through strikes, protests, and negotiations, plebeians gradually secured more rights, shaping the Republic into a more inclusive system. One of the most significant achievements in the struggle for plebeian rights was the creation of the Tribune of the Plebs, a political office designed to represent the common people. Tribunes had the authority to veto legislation they deemed harmful to the plebeians, providing a critical check on patrician power. At the heart of Rome's early success was its military. The Roman army stood out for its discipline, strategy, and unique structure. Unlike other armies of the time, the Roman legions consisted of Roman citizens, ordinary men who were trained and organized into military units. The manipular formation allowed soldiers to fight with greater flexibility and effectiveness, making the Roman army one of the most formidable fighting forces of the ancient world. Initially, Rome's military campaigns focused on securing its borders and defending against neighboring tribes. Through a series of successful wars, Rome expanded its territory, first conquering the Sabines and Etruscans, followed by the Latin cities. Over the centuries, Rome transformed from a small city-state into a dominant force in the Mediterranean. A defining chapter in Rome's early expansion was its series of conflicts with Carthage, known as the Punic Wars. The First Punic War, 264 to 241 BCE, began over control of Sicily. Despite being a land-based military power, Rome innovated to build a powerful navy and emerged victorious, gaining Sicily as its first overseas province. The Second Punic War, 218 to 201 BCE, was marked by Hannibal Barca's daring campaign, including his famous crossing of the Alps. Despite devastating defeats like the Battle of Cannae, Rome, under the leadership of generals like Scipio Africanus, eventually triumphed. The Battle of Zama in 202 BCE saw Scipio decisively defeat Hannibal, ending Carthage's threat. The Third Punic War, 149 to 146 BCE, resulted in the complete destruction of Carthage, solidifying Rome's dominance in the Western Mediterranean. By the end of the 2nd century BCE, Rome had transitioned from a city-state to a vast empire, controlling territories across the Mediterranean. This expansion brought immense wealth, but it also deepened economic inequality. Conquered lands were often converted into large estates, or latifundia, worked by enslaved peoples. While the elite prospered, small farmers faced displacement, selling their land and migrating to Rome, swelling the ranks of the urban poor. This economic disparity fueled unrest and contributed to the Republic's eventual decline. The Gracchus brothers, Tiberius and Gaius, were among the first to challenge this inequality. Tiberius, elected tribune of the plebs in 133 BCE, proposed land reforms to redistribute excess land from the wealthy to poor farmers. His reforms angered the Senate, dominated by the elite, and led to fierce opposition. Tiberius was ultimately assassinated by political opponents, marking a violent end to his reform efforts. His brother Gaius continued the push for change in 123 BCE, advocating for land redistribution, subsidized grain, and extending citizenship to non-Romans in Italy. Gaius's populist policies and challenges to Senate authority earned him widespread support but also fierce resistance, setting the stage for further turmoil in the Republic. The loyalty of the urban poor, which Gaius Gracchus cultivated through his reforms, created fierce opposition from the elite. Like his brother Tiberius, Gaius was ultimately killed in 121 BCE by his political enemies. Despite their tragic fates, the Gracchus brothers ignited a spark of social and political change in Rome, a spark that would smolder for years. The years following their deaths were marked by increasing political instability. Social and economic divisions deepened, and the Senate's authority was challenged by ambitious military leaders who leveraged their successes on the battlefield to gain political power. Among them was Gaius Marius, a general who became consul in 107 BCE. Marius reformed the Roman army, allowing the landless poor to enlist, creating a new force loyal to their commander rather than the Senate. These reforms turned the military into a powerful political tool. However, in 88 BCE, Marius clashed with another ambitious general, Lucius Cornelius Sulla, in a brutal civil war. Sulla emerged victorious and became dictator, using his position to purge enemies and restore Senate power. His reign revealed the Republic's vulnerabilities, setting a dangerous precedent for military dominance in politics. This instability continued into the 1st century BCE, paving the way for Julius Caesar's rise. Born in 100 BCE, Caesar climbed the political ladder through alliances, charisma, and military conquest. In 60 BCE, he formed the first triumvirate with Pompey the Great and Crassus, dominating Roman politics. The alliance fractured after Crassus's death in 53 BCE, leading to tensions between Caesar and Pompey. In 49 BCE, Caesar defied the Senate by crossing the Rubicon River with his army, an act of war that plunged Rome into civil conflict. Caesar's forces defeated Pompey at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BCE, and after Pompey's assassination in Egypt, Caesar returned to Rome as the undisputed ruler. In 46 BCE, Caesar was appointed dictator for life, consolidating his power and enacting reforms to stabilize Rome. He redistributed land, reformed the calendar, and reduced Senate power, earning popularity among the masses but alarming the elite. Fearing the erosion of the Republic, a group of senators led by Brutus and Cassius assassinated Caesar on the Ides of March in 44 BCE. While intended to restore senatorial control, his murder plunged Rome into chaos, triggering further civil wars. The power vacuum left by Caesar's death was filled by his supporters Mark Antony and Octavian, along with Lepidus, forming the Second Triumvirate. Their forces clashed with Brutus and Cassius at the Battle of Philippi in 42 BCE, continuing the cycle of turmoil that would ultimately lead to the Republic's demise. The Battle of Philippi ended decisively with a victory for Antony and Octavian, leading to the suicides of Brutus and Cassius. With their enemies defeated, Antony and Octavian gained control of the Republic, but their alliance soon devolved into a rivalry for ultimate power. This struggle culminated in the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, where Octavian's fleet defeated the combined forces of Antony and Cleopatra. The defeat marked the end of Antony's power, and both he and Cleopatra committed suicide, leaving Octavian as the sole ruler of Rome. Octavian returned to Rome as a celebrated hero, hailed as the savior of the Republic. However, instead of restoring the Republic, he took the title of Augustus, meaning the revered one, and became Rome's first emperor. His reign marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Upon his return in 29 BCE, Augustus recognized that his authority would not rest on military victories alone. He needed political legitimacy. Skillfully presenting himself as the protector and restorer of republican values, Augustus adopted the title princeps, first citizen, instead of king or dictator. This approach created a facade of republican governance, even though Augustus held supreme power. Augustus implemented wide-ranging reforms to consolidate his rule. He established a professional standing army paid by the state, ensuring loyalty to the emperor rather than individual generals. He also created the Praetorian Guard, an elite unit tasked with protecting the emperor. These measures secured Augustus's control over the military and stabilized the empire. His reign ushered in the Pax Romana, or Roman peace, a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity lasting from 27 BCE to 180 CE. The Pax Romana saw economic prosperity, cultural flourishing, and territorial expansion. Under Augustus, the empire's borders were solidified, and its influence extended across the Mediterranean and beyond. The empire reached its territorial peak under Emperor Trajan in the early 2nd century CE, spanning from Britain to Egypt and Spain to Mesopotamia. Roman cities flourished, with the construction of aqueducts, roads, and public baths, while landmarks like the Colosseum and the Pantheon exemplified Roman architectural brilliance. This era also saw a golden age of literature, with works by writers like Virgil, Ovid, and Horace becoming central to Western literary tradition. Despite the facade of republican governance, the emperor wielded ultimate authority. The Senate's role became largely ceremonial, and imperial power passed from one emperor to another through family succession or force, with the military often playing a decisive role. After Augustus's death in 14 CE, his stepson Tiberius became emperor. Tiberius, though a capable military leader, withdrew from public life and governed through advisors, leading to a reign marked by distrust and paranoia. The Julio-Claudian dynasty that followed was known for its dramatic and often controversial rulers. Caligula, Augustus's great-grandson, ascended to the throne in 37 CE and became infamous for his cruelty, extravagance, and erratic behavior, including allegedly planning to make his horse a consul. His reign ended with his assassination in 41 CE. Claudius, Caligula's uncle, succeeded him and, despite being underestimated for his disabilities, proved to be an effective ruler, expanding the empire into Britain and undertaking significant public works. The last Julio-Claudian emperor, Nero, ruled from 54 CE to 68 CE. His reign, initially promising, descended into scandal and excess. Nero is remembered for his tyranny, including the persecution of Christians and his alleged role in the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE. Facing rebellion and a loss of support, Nero committed suicide in 68 CE, bringing an end to the Julio-Claudian dynasty. The end of the Julio-Claudian dynasty marked a turning point in Roman history. After Nero's death, the Roman Empire plunged into chaos during the Year of the Four Emperors, a brief but tumultuous civil war. Vespasian, a military general, emerged victorious in 69 CE, establishing the Flavian dynasty. Vespasian's reign brought stability to the empire, and his son Titus later oversaw the completion of the Colosseum, one of Rome's most iconic structures. Under the Flavians, Rome thrived, with significant territorial expansions and infrastructure development. Titus completed the conquest of Jerusalem, while Domitian expanded northern defenses and initiated various building projects. However, Domitian's autocratic rule and paranoia tarnished his reign, leading to his assassination in 96 CE, which ended the Flavian dynasty and ushered in the era of the Five Good Emperors. The reign of the Five Good Emperors, Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius, represented one of the most stable and prosperous periods in Roman history, often referred to as the Pax Romana. Following this golden age, the empire faced the crisis of the 3rd century, 235 to 284 CE, a time marked by political instability, economic turmoil, and external threats. Barbarian invasions tested the empire's borders, while civil wars and the rise of barracks emperors fractured internal governance. Economic decline, rampant inflation, and reduced agricultural productivity further destabilized the empire, which was divided into 3 main regions: the Gallic Empire in the west, the Palmyrene Empire in the east, and the Central Roman Empire. Though the empire was eventually reunified under Emperor Aurelian, its strength was significantly diminished. Emperor Diocletian rose to power in 284 CE during this period of chaos. Recognizing the challenges posed by the empire's vast size, Diocletian introduced reforms to stabilize governance, including dividing the empire into the Eastern and Western Roman empires. Diocletian ruled the east from Nicomedia, while Maximian governed the west from Milan. He also established the Tetrarchy, a system where 2 senior emperors and 2 junior emperors, or Caesars, ruled jointly to ensure smoother succession and prevent civil wars. However, the reforms provided only a temporary solution, and the empire remained weakened and divided. In 313 CE, Constantine the Great rose to power, uniting the empire after defeating his rivals. Constantine's reign marked a transformative era in Roman history. He famously converted to Christianity after reportedly seeing a divine vision before battle. Following his victory, he issued the Edict of Milan, which legalized Christianity and allowed it to be openly practiced across the empire. Under Constantine's patronage, Christianity transitioned from a persecuted faith to the dominant religion of the Roman Empire. He established a new capital, Constantinople, on the site of Byzantium in 330 CE. Constantinople became the center of Christian civilization and a bastion of the Byzantine Empire, which would endure for over 1,000 years. Despite Constantine's reforms, the Western Roman Empire continued to decline. The division of the empire made it harder to defend against external threats, and the western provinces faced repeated invasions by barbarian tribes, including the Visigoths, Vandals, Huns, and Franks. In 410 CE, the Visigoths, led by Alaric, famously sacked Rome, symbolizing the decline of the Western Roman Empire. Although Rome had faced invasions before, this marked a deeper collapse, setting the stage for the eventual fall of the Western Empire. The internal strife and lack of effective leadership within the Roman Empire made it nearly impossible to restore order. The final blow came in 476 CE when the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the barbarian general Odoacer. This event marked the official end of the Western Roman Empire. Although this is often seen as the end of ancient Rome, it signified the beginning of a new chapter. The Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for another 1,000 years, preserving Roman law, culture, and traditions. It was not until 1453 CE, when Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks, that the last remnants of the Roman Empire were extinguished. The legacy of Rome, however, lived on in countless ways. Roman law, language, architecture, and culture heavily influenced the development of Western civilization. The governance system of the Roman Republic served as a model for modern democratic structures, and Roman engineering, including roads, aqueducts, and monumental architecture, remains a testament to their ingenuity. Throughout the Middle Ages, the Roman Catholic Church preserved much of Roman culture, particularly Roman law and Christianity, which became the dominant faith in Europe. Ideas such as Roman citizenship and the legal principle of innocent until proven guilty continue to underpin modern legal systems. Although the empire that ruled the Mediterranean world for over 1,000 years had fallen, its spirit persisted, inspiring and shaping generations. As we conclude this exploration of the rise and fall of the mighty Roman Empire, we find ourselves at a crossroads of history. The empire that spanned continents, built monumental structures, and revolutionized governance may have fallen, but its legacy endures. Rome's influence is still visible in Western architecture, modern legal systems, and the languages spoken across the globe. The ideals of Roman citizenship, law, and democracy are interwoven into the fabric of modern civilization. Even though the Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, the Byzantine Empire upheld Roman traditions for another 1,000 years, enduring until Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453 CE. The influence of Roman thought, law, and culture persisted through the ages, ensuring that Rome's legacy would never truly disappear. During the Middle Ages, the Roman Catholic Church safeguarded Roman knowledge, culture, and law. The Renaissance revived Roman ideals and rediscovered its art and literature. Today, remnants of Rome, its laws, language, and engineering marvels, remain integral to Western civilization's foundation. The Roman Empire was a product of its time, shaped by the political and military realities of the ancient world. Yet, the ideas and innovations of the Roman people transcended the empire itself. Rome was not merely an empire. It was an idea, a symbol of unity, power, and civilization. Its legacy endures, a thread woven into the fabric of history. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of Rome, from its legendary founding to its meteoric rise and eventual fall. We've witnessed how the Roman Empire shaped the world in profound ways. This story reminds us that even the greatest civilizations face challenges, but their legacies can endure for centuries. As we reflect on Rome's lessons, we see that every empire and civilization is built upon the ideas, values, and innovations of those who came before. The rise and fall of Rome is a tale of ambition, triumph, struggle, and lasting influence. Though the empire has faded into history, the Eternal City remains a beacon of human achievement. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Rome's history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss future videos. Share this story with others, and together, let's continue exploring the great civilizations that shaped our world. Until next time, remember, Rome may have fallen, but its spirit endures. As we close this chapter on the extraordinary history of Rome, we're left with lessons of ambition, resilience, and the inevitable cycle of rise and fall. But this is just the beginning of our journey through the great civilizations and moments that shaped our world. In the next video, we'll explore another fascinating tale, one filled with intrigue, power struggles, and legacies that endure to this day. So, if you're ready to uncover more secrets of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what era or empire you'd like to dive into next. Until then, remember, history isn't just about the past. It's the key to understanding our present and shaping our future.